let's get to game number one. We're going to take a look at the Ottawa Senators against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck will drop at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And again, this is a game where neither team is going to make the postseason. It's not like we're watching them in the playoffs. But the bottom line is, guys, you still get good numbers on these games, and you don't have a lot of movement, and a lot of these games are soft. So especially like if you like to play one of the sides, you're not going to get a lot of movement. So you can wait a little bit and you can get on this whenever that you want. So this is one of those situations. We'll take a look at the number tonight. Columbus, a manageable minus $1.15. That is held steady. Nobody's betting on this game, so it's not going to move very much. What might move is the totals. And because the totals move, because the sides are so high in a lot of these games that bettors have kind of gravitated towards totals. So you do see totals move in just about every game. Total in this one, 6.5 under, minus 20. We've seen some money come in on the over to push this from 6 to 6.5. Starting goaltenders in this one, looks like Forsberg's going to start against Merzlikins, but again, look to see on your Twitter account, so any of the social medias, who's the first goaltender off the ice after morning skate. That will give you an indication of who is going to start the game tonight. But right now, Forsberg and Merzlikin is the listed goaltenders on various line services. This is still a Columbus team, guys, that is playing hard, and there's definitely a difference between some of these teams that are just checked out for the season, ready for next year, and teams that are still playing hard. And Columbus is definitely one of those. Now, I know that the recent road trip does not reflect a great deal of wins. In fact, it hardly reflects any. But we know we're going to get a good effort for them. And really, when we're betting totals, that's all we can ask. There are some teams, like I said, that have checked out, but that is not the case with either of these two teams. Now, the main reason why Columbus has not had a lot of success is because they're constant mistakes. And this is not a recent thing. We've talked about this all season long, about their mistakes, specifically mistakes in their defensive end. And when you make mistakes in your defensive end, that leads to a lot of offensive opportunities for the opposition, which has been the case for Columbus's opposition for most of the year. Sometimes they tightened it up, and then we started to ride them a little bit. But for the most part this season, they've really had a problem defensively, and not only a problem defensively, but being consistent on defense as well. And I can't back a team that's mistake prone, one that needs a half a period to come out and find their legs, which Columbus seems to have a problem with. And you talk to people inside the organization. I talk to their beat writers all the time, and they'll say, hey, this team's ready to play. They're motivated, but once they get on the ice, it takes them a little bit. In fact, they've been playing catch up in most of their games of late. And that's been their big Achilles heel, is always they're chasing games. And that's what Columbus has been about of late. We saw that in San Jose, where they gave up 3 first-period goals and then had to chase that game the rest of the way. Ended up a 3-2 game and an under, but still, this was a Columbus team that just didn't come out and play well. There's too many breakdowns. I think the score in the last game would have been a lot higher, even though they cashed an under ticket. I think it would have been a lot higher if this game had been 2-0, because we saw over the final 2 periods that both teams just played the lockdown defensive hockey, waiting for the other to make mistakes. That would have been different. So we take that recent under and kind of throw it aside, because that's not really what I think we're going to see in this one. Let's get to tonight's official play in our first game. I thought we would get a 6 on this, but I didn't get it to the number, before the number changed. Take the 6.5, and we'll take the even money, because, honestly, if we think it's going to go over 6, and certainly we think it's going to go over 6.5. The over 6-1-1 when the Senators play teams with a losing record. The over also has been a cash cow when the Jackets have been at home. They've cashed 35 of the last 49 games in which there was a decision outside of any pushes. That's dating back to last season. So they have been an over machine at home. We're going to go right back to the well tonight. We're going to go over 6.5 even. Maybe wait a little bit, because you might have some under money coming in, and maybe grab a 6 on this. But again, if we like it at 6, we certainly like it at 6.5. We're not handicapping games to win it by a half a goal.